we thought it a good day to have Morgan Wright, a cybersecurity expert, on the line. He is a former executive at Cisco, Alcatel-Lucent, former senior advisor for the U.S. Department of State Anti-Terrorism Assistance Program. So a guy knows a little bit about the systems over there at the State Department. How are you this morning, Mr. Wright?
Hey, very good, guys. Good morning.
All right. So, Hillary had a private email server. We now know that they are reviewing all of the emails so that they can release some of them to the public. The fact that they have to review them suggests they believe there may be sensitive information in some of the emails that the Secretary of State wrote or received. Were those secrets, was that sensitive information safe in what what is being described as a homebrew email server up in Chappaqua?
Right. Well, first of all, let's not make the assumption that there's only 55,000 emails. I remember in college taking calculus and stuff, even for advanced math. What is the first thing they do? They start you off with sets and numbers. Is that the entire universe of emails, or is that a subset that they have said is responsive? So, first of all, we don't know that 55,000 is the total amount of emails. Second, the fact that it was run out of their house, huge implications, because you should not be running a personal email server to conduct official government business. And I'm not getting into the politics of it. What I'm saying is, from a security standpoint, you would not have been able to forward, say, classified email from the classified systems to unclassified. But here's the real danger. Let's say that we're running an operation, and we call it Rolling Thunder. God forbid it's an actual operation, because I don't want to get in trouble. But we just call it Rolling Thunder, right? What if I, in my personal email, said, hey, as when we meet, let's make sure we talk about Rolling Thunder. That's called leakage. You now have leaked information of a classified operation or system and put it into an unclassified email. And I'm telling you, don't say anything on personal email you don't want broadcast on the front page of the Internet or in the New York Times, because I'm telling you right now, the Russian and the Chinese news bureaus, their intelligence systems, probably know more about this than we do at this point.
So if there was sensitive data being sent to the Secretary of State on our personal email account, chances are those emails were seen by, foreign bodies like the Russians, the Chinese, etc.
Well, the mere fact that Guccifer was able to show that he had hacked Sidney Blumenthal's account and exposed the emails between him and Hillary Clinton proves right there the system was not secure. I mean, it's just bad form, and you don't get to create your own system inside the government to say, well, I don't like your computer. I'm bringing my computer in and I'm going to use it.
Right.
That's not the way it works.
You're referring to Guccifer. He was a Romanian hacker, by the way. I just want to explain to people aren't following. A Romanian hacker who got to Sidney Blumenthal, longtime aide and advisor to the Clintons, and found emails regarding confidential information with negotiations with the Libyan government and other things like that.
Right, and one of my ongoing themes has been about this, guys, is why is it we have to keep relying upon criminals or nation states to help us do our discovery in these events? I mean, we can't outsource electronic discovery to Guccifer. So, but there's another second issue, though. To me, it's a much bigger issue. Is how were these systems accessed? It appears that she only used her BlackBerry, maybe for a lot of stuff. But was there? But that is an official government BlackBerry. So who set it up to put her private email account on that BlackBerry? That would have been in clear violation, probably, of many State Department rules. Everything changes over time, but who authorized this? And we know from additional reporting, they were advised that running their own email system is bad, one, from a policy standpoint, but most importantly from a security, confidentiality, and authentication standpoint, because when you use a private email system and it's not set up correctly, which we've been told that they used a digital certificate that was self-issued. That means like issuing your own driver's license as opposed to the state certifying that you are who you say you are.
Yeah.
Now we have no way of knowing that she's really communicating with who she says she is.
This is exactly the kind of thing I want to ask you about Morgan Wright. Morgan Wright is a former executive at Cisco, Alcatel-Lucent, and also a senior advisor to the U.S. Department of State for Anti-Terrorism Assistance. So you focus on cybersecurity. You understand what the government systems, protocols, and servers are already set up to do. Based on your understanding of what the government servers currently have in place with regard to security, with regard to making sure emails are locked down, especially at the highest levels of government, the Secretary of State, is it even imaginable that Hillary Clinton could set up her own private servers to cover her own private emails and match the level of security that the government has put in place?
Security is a relative term. So the way to answer that is, how much risk are you willing to spend to mitigate that risk? I could create you a bulletproof email system, Larry, but you couldn't afford it. So, we do these levels of risk. And remember, back in November of 2014, State Department shut down their unclassified system because it had been penetrated the same time the White House was.
Well, instead of saying, the most secure system, let's just compare it to what we have, what the government uses right now for its secure emails. Is it possible that Hillary Clinton has an exact same secure system as the government uses for secure emails?
No, because if you're comparing a classified system to what she was doing, no comparison at all, because you actually have two separate terminals. You email and conduct business on two separate systems, unclassified and classified. There's no way from a private system that she was running she could have matched the level of security needed from a classified system. On the unclassified side, then again, it's the level of security, but it's more importantly, it's the issue of authentication of who you're dealing with. It's the leakage of sensitive information, and if she's using her own system, there would be no way to go back and scan emails to say, when you're doing if there was a leak of information and you have investigators now looking, if they don't know that those emails exist and they can't examine them, they can't determine when and where the leak occurred of the classified information. So it even complicates their own internal security and external security. And what if she mentions, I'm going to be here at a certain place at a certain time? The Russians and the Chinese know that. Now you have a personal security issue that was exposed through the use of an unauthorized email system.
Well, but let's just sort of get back to this basic point. If the State Department says they're reviewing the emails, why would they want to review them? They would want to review them so that they make sure that they're not releasing any sensitive information. But if there are sensitive information in the emails and it was on her private server, that's a huge security problem.
Absolutely, and that's the point. We have to accept their word that they say there's 55,000, as with Lois Lerner, as with, all these other things, and the other officials have used stuff. We know there's more than that, so I'd say there's more than 55,000, and unless you can see the entire body of emails, there's no way to say that there was never any classified information or sensitive information that should not have been on a personal email system disclosed.
And that's my other question. It's not a security question, it's just a technical question. If you own the server, if you control the server, then you control what anybody sees from that server. And you could make things go away, couldn't you?
Yeah, it reminds me of a famous Joseph Stalin quote. It's not the vote that counts, it's who counts the votes. It's not the email that counts, it's who runs the email that counts, because now you get to determine what you see. You get to determine what lives, what gets deleted, and old emails never die. They just keep turning up in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen here.
You said she uses a BlackBerry most of the time. Let's say, just hypothetically, let's say Hillary Clinton does delete some emails and tries to wipe them off of her server so that nobody can see them. Because she used a BlackBerry of some kind, is there another place where those emails could exist?
Most likely not, because really all a BlackBerry does, there's some software that syncs your server to the BlackBerry, so if it doesn't exist on the server, it won't exist on the BlackBerry. The only way it would exist is if they forwarded that email to a different account or somebody retained their copy of it. But, once you delete that, that's why this is total control here.
Yeah.
You delete it, it's gone.
It's gone. All right, we got to leave it there. Morgan Wright, you're going to be a busy man over the next several days.
That's fascinating and very frightening stuff.
Yeah.